name's Chloe Breckenridge, and this is my observation notebook for Intro to Teaching, and I observed at Heber Springs Elementary School in Miss Monk's second grade classroom. From first impressions, the school looks very old, but very well taken care of, and you can tell that they really take a lot of pride in their school, and they do make improvements when they can. The parking lot was a good size, and the security coming into the front of the building was very well, and it's new. You have to be buzzed in through a door, and then you have to sign in at the office and get your driver's license scanned and a visitor's pass. So I thought that that was really good and a really good protection for the kids. First of all, my seating arrangement. Miss Monk has her classroom arranged where there's a desk of 4, and when everyone's sitting in their seat where they're supposed to be sitting, no one has their back turned to Miss Monk. And I thought that was really cool, and that's a glow about the seating arrangement is at that age it's very important that they stay engaged with the teacher, and they can see the board and little distraction if their backs are turned. A grow would probably be, and this might just be the age that they're at, it seemed like kids were getting up and moving around a lot more than I would like in a classroom. And she did have very good control of her classroom, but sometimes when that was happening, she acted almost like she didn't notice. My next thing is classroom management. And the classroom management, Miss Monk has been teaching for 5 years, and she really does have her classroom under control. She has her rules posted clearly in colorful big letters up on a board, and I feel like at the beginning of the year they were enforced over and over and over, and she continued to talk about them and enforce them. She uses a clip-up chart where she clips up the pins each day and clips down, and a coupon, and that was a glow to me. I think the clip-up chart is something I would incorporate in my own classroom. Something that was a grow is she also uses a coupon system, and I was there 4 different weeks, different hours, different times, and I never actually saw her use the coupon system. So maybe if that wasn't a reward system, make sure you're implementing it. The classroom learning. Miss Monk is a very structured teacher. She has the same schedule every single day, and that was a grow that I think she doesn't really have a lot of variety in her classroom for second graders, but it also, the structure is a glow because the kids know exactly what they're going to do when they're doing it, and I thought that was really cool, and they all seemed to be on task. Even the students that kind of strayed off, they seemed like they were really focused. She, like I said, doesn't have a lot of variety, but while I was there, I had an opportunity to help her with some learning centers, and I think she is going to begin to incorporate those, which I think will help with the kids and get them kind of engaged in learning. Learning activities, I've never seen a school use technology quite to the level that Heber Elementary uses it. They use their Chromebooks, which are little laptops that each student has. They all have one assigned to them, and they use them for AR reading, spelling city, and extra math. And I would go out on a limb and say they're on these Chromebooks almost 2 hours a day, and I'm so torn about that because I don't know if it's a glow or a grow, because there are benefits to technology, but there's also downfalls to it too. And something that I was so sad about is when I was in second grade, my favorite thing to do was write in my journal, and they don't write in their journals anymore, they just type on their Chromebooks, and that is so sad to me that they're stripped of that. The classroom climate, from the first day that I walked in, it was kind of, I'm a very bubbly person. Miss Monk is not. She's a very stern, cold's not the word, but almost hard. And you don't really see that in second grade classrooms very often. But the climate was very loving and nurturing, and you could tell that the students knew they were loved and cared about and knew that Miss Monk had their best intentions in mind. So a glow was definitely that the students were comfortable, and a grow would be for visitors to feel more welcomed in the classroom. Students resisting learning. I have a funny story during this part. There weren't any students that really resisted learning on their own, just out of their way. They didn't go out of their way to do it. But there was one student, and I do feel for him because he had some medicine he was supposed to be on, and some other things that he was going through that weren't getting taken care of at home, and it was resulting in a resistance to learning. And Miss Monk handled this to the best of her ability. She even mentioned to me that she had tried to contact the parents multiple times and it just wasn't working out. I think that's very sad. I don't really have a grow for the students resisting learning. I think Miss Monk kept all the students engaged, and even the student that was having difficulty, she was doing everything she could. And it was special to me to see a teacher go out of her way to make sure that he was doing okay. The teaching approach. Miss Monk's teaching approach was cooperative learning, and that's something you don't see regularly in the second grade classroom, only because it's a very mature approach. They do most everything as classroom discussion, and that was very, very interesting to me to see second graders engage in that type of instruction. And that was a glow to me because I had never seen that type of teaching that young, but it worked out for her. And I think it worked out for her because it was a practice technique. It wasn't something that they got when they were first introduced to it, and they've grown to be better at it. And maybe grow would be for Miss Monk just to remember that they are in second grade, and sometimes it is going to be difficult for them to engage in that type of conversation, in that type of learning without getting into it or getting upset or worked up. So lastly, my conclusion, observing at Heber Springs Elementary School was a very pleasant experience for me. Over time, I grew to become close to Miss Monk, and she was very nice, and I feel like she went out of her way for her children. And like I said, this is her 5th year teaching, so she's getting the hang of it. She hasn't really been into it for a super long time, so she is still fairly new. But to me, it was special because she talked to me about each year you have a different set of 20 kids, and not all kids are the same. And so her teaching style, her teaching approach, her activities, her seating arrangement, all are around her the students that she has. And I thought that was really special that a teacher would adjust to her students and go out on a limb and maybe try a new teaching style, a new seating arrangement sort of thing for the students that she had. So like I said, it was a very pleasant experience, and I really enjoyed my time.